Okay, so today should be fairly easy. There are things that are harder about this. There's things that are easier. It just depends on how comfortable you are with unit circle and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start out with a really simple problem, and then we'll move on to some of the harder ones in just a moment. Honestly, there's only 4 examples today, and they're pretty basic. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is this: sine u equals the square root of 2 over 2. Solve it exactly without using a calculator. We have done this a number of times. Now, the thing that this is asking for, this is asking for all solutions. Now, on the test I gave you recently, I went ahead and said that you didn't have to know this, but on this one I'm going to make you. All right? Now, you know that when you have a sine function, okay, it's going to hit root 2 over 2 exactly once. Okay, it's going to be right here. Okay, so this is we're going to find the answer to this one. So to do this, we do the inverse. Now, most of us know, again, this is something that if we're comfortable enough with the triangles, makes sense, right? So if we know that the sine of it actually hits it twice. I'm sorry. I knew, that's why I've been pausing. I'm like, no, it doesn't twice. Sorry. It's right here. Right here and right here. Okay? So these two places are where it hits root 2 over 2. Alright? So it's somewhere in there. Like, obviously, you know, this is a rough graph. Right? So I know that it hits root 2 over 2 at pi over 4. And I also know from my unit circle that pi over 4 is positive in 2 quadrants. It's in the quadrant from 0 to pi over 2, and also from pi over 2 to pi. This is pi here. Okay? So it's pi over 4 and it's 3 pi over 4. And how often does a sine wave repeat? Every 2 pi. So my answer to sine u equals root 2 over 2 is pi over 4 plus 2k pi and 3 pi over 4 plus 2k pi. Now these are easy. Okay? These are unit circle problems. You don't have to worry about calculator work. You don't have to worry about knowing, you know, whether it's 2k pi or k pi or whatever. And this is just very simple, okay? So we're going to move into what happens now if we have problems that are a little more complicated. I'm going to show you a chart. Now this chart that I'm going to show you, you will have access to this chart at all times, okay? This is not something that you need to worry about having. It is in your book. If you want to look it up, I thought I wrote the chart page number down. I did not, but it's in section 8.3, okay? So if you find this chart. Now this chart will tell you what your solution should look like. So let's look at the sine one. It goes into cosine and tangent as well. Unfortunately, the way the screen is, I can't look at it all right now. But I want to explain to you how the chart works. So this will be fairly easy for you to use. Okay? If I have an equation, sine x equals c, okay? And c is between -1 and 1. I will have 2 solutions. Okay? I will have one that is the inverse of sine c plus 2k pi, and one that is the pi minus the inverse of pi minus the sine of c plus 2k pi. This is really, really simple, okay? It's plugging in formulas, all right? You use your calculator to find the first value, do pi minus that plus 2k pi, and you've got your 2 solutions, okay? Solutions are always x equals in this situation because that's what we're looking for. If c equals 1, okay, there's only one solution, pi over 2 plus 2k pi. You should know that. If it's -1, it's negative pi over 2 plus 2k pi. And then if it is greater than 1 or less than -1, there is no solution. Okay, now we're going to look down at cosine for a moment. Okay. Now cosine has almost, has the same boundaries, okay? So cosine is between -1 and 1, okay? But notice that it's a little different, the solution. So we still have the cosine inverse of c plus 2k pi. However, the second solution is, instead of the pi minus, it's negative cosine c plus 2k pi. Okay, I can already sense some of you freaking out. I'm never going to remember all of this. You don't need to remember all of this. I'll definitely give you the chart on this one. Okay, I still refer back to the chart on all of these. Okay, c equals 1, it's 0 plus 2k pi or 2k pi. If c is -1, it's pi plus 2k pi. If it's greater than 1 or less than -1, no solution. Okay. Tangent's nice, only one solution, and it works for everything. You don't have to worry about, am I looking at something that I shouldn't? So tangent and then plus k pi. All right, so let's do some examples. We're going to keep it really basic today. We're not going to go hard at all. I'll leave that for TG13. All right, so it says solve cosine of x equals 0.6. So the first thing I want to check is where does this fall? This is between -1 and this is actually C value and 1, right? So since it's between -1 and 1, we can definitely find a solution. All right, I'm going to use my calculator to go the cosine inverse of 0.6, okay, and I'm going to see what my calculator spits out. It told me 0.93. Now, I don't have a chart up here, okay? If you have your books or something like that, if you want to go back really quick and look at it, but the chart said that my first solution is going to be whatever I get when I find the inverse, plus 2k pi. And my second solution for cosine is the negative of that, plus 2k pi, and I'm done. That's it. See, easy, easy, not hard at all. Okay. All right, so sine of x equals -0.75. Okay, the first thing we check is where is it? Okay, it's between -1 and 1. So now I'm going to find the sine, the inverse sine of -0.75. And my calculator tells me that that is -0.848. And since I just want to, that's my x is going to equal -0.848 plus 2k pi. But I have two solutions. All right, now this one, x equals pi minus -0.848 plus 2k pi. Simplify, always simplify. Okay, calculator, simple. 3.23 plus 2k pi. All right, one more. We'll have to do a tangent as well. Now, the tangent, we are not restricted by anything, okay? So we can do what it is. It doesn't matter what it is, it will be solvable. So we're going to do tangent inverse of 3. Put it in my calculator. I get 1.25. Remember, there's only one solution, plus k pi. And voila, I'm done. Okay? Seriously, super easy. Homework should be fairly basic. Have fun.